How to be a good boss. Why being hated doesn't mean you're failing as a leader. One of the hardest lessons in leadership is this. If everyone likes you all the time, you're probably not leading. Many new bosses confuse approval with effectiveness. They soften decisions, avoid conflict, delay feedback, and carry problems themselves just to keep the peace. It feels kind. It feels human. But over time, it quietly damages teams, results, and respect. Being a good leader is not about being liked. It's about being trusted, even when that trust feels uncomfortable. There is a reason the old quote survives centuries. Give a man a fish, and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, and you feed him for a lifetime. Leadership works the same way. A bad boss gives fish constantly, fixes everything, solves every problem, removes every discomfort. People may like that boss for a while, but dependency grows, skills don't, accountability fades. And when pressure comes, the team collapses because it never learned how to stand on its own. A good leader teaches people how to fish. And here's the uncomfortable part. People often hate you while they're learning. They hate the feedback that forces them to grow. They hate the standards that expose weak habits. They hate the boundaries that remove excuses. Not because you're wrong, but because growth hurts before it helps. This is where balance matters. A leader who only pushes becomes feared. A leader who only comforts becomes ignored. The balance lives in intent and consistency. When people know that your decisions are fair, transparent, and predictable, they can accept discomfort. When they know feedback is about improvement, not ego, they recover faster. When they see that you hold everyone to the same standards, including yourself, resentment turns into respect, even if it takes time. Here's a hidden truth most managers learn too late. People don't hate leaders for being strict. They hate leaders for being arbitrary. If rules change depending on mood, favoritism, or pressure from above, trust dies. If expectations are unclear, people feel attacked instead of guided. But when standards are stable and explained, even tough leaders earn credibility. A good boss also understands timing. You don't correct publicly to prove authority. You don't avoid correction to stay liked. You correct privately, clearly, and early before small issues become personal failures. And when someone resists, complains, or even dislikes you for it, you don't take it personally. Resistance is often the sound of old habits breaking. Teaching people to fish means letting them struggle safely. You don't jump in at the first sign of discomfort. You watch. You guide. You step in only when failure would be destructive, not instructive. This builds confidence that praise alone never can. Another balance leaders must learn is emotional distance without coldness. You can care deeply without carrying everyone's feelings. You can be empathetic without lowering standards. You can listen without agreeing. Good leaders don't absorb every emotion in the room. They regulate the room. And yes, sometimes people will talk behind your back. Sometimes they'll say you're too demanding, too strict, or not friendly enough. That doesn't automatically mean you're doing it wrong. The real question is this: are people growing under your leadership? If skills improve, ownership increases, mistakes decrease, and confidence rises, even if you're not loved, you're leading well. Because the goal was never to be liked. The goal was to leave people stronger than you found them. In the long run, the leaders people respect most are rarely the ones who made everything easy. They're the ones who taught others how to survive, adapt, and succeed without being dependent. You didn't give them fish forever. You taught them how to fish. And that kind of leadership may not win popularity contests, but it builds teams that last.